Hey, everybody. This week we are zooming into SEMICON West, having conversations with members of our 3D Insights community. Today, I am speaking with Marty Daniel of StratEdge Corporation. Now, StratEdge is one of the first companies I ever visited when I started writing about advanced packaging, and they even gave me this really cool pair of earrings made out of lead frame packages. Now, they are known for high-frequency RF and microwave packages used in the Mars Rover. Hi, Marty. Thanks for joining us today.
Hi, Francois. Good to see you. Thanks for having us.
It's always nice to get together and connect. I think the last time we met was at IMAPS just before the shutdown. You know, everybody was like elbow bumping and hand sanitizing.
Oh yeah, the device packaging conference. It's so interesting. Within the matter of 2 weeks, we went from elbow bumping and no masks at DPC to, you know, all of a sudden you can't touch anybody or be out anywhere and you must be wearing a mask at all times. I mean, everything just happened so quickly.
Very quickly. Well, things really started spiking, I think, in Washington and California. And so, yeah, all events were canceled. How did that impact you guys? I know you had a couple of events planned.
Well, we had a couple of events right after DPC, but we actually had, I think, 9 more conferences during the year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's definitely been different. I think all but one have been canceled physically, and even then that one might get canceled because it's later in the year. So yeah, it's been different.
So how have you guys been navigating through this pandemic?
Well, when the pandemic first started, it was interesting. So, you know, there were people like me who didn't think it was going to be a big deal, but there were people like Tim Going, our president, who saw it coming from, 100 miles away, and he started preparing really, really early. So even before the governor issued stay-at-home orders for California, he was already implementing things in our factory. So
that's good.
Reduced staff. Yeah, so reduced staff so that we could have social distancing. Mandatory wearing masks well before the state, made it mandatory. He even had someone down in the factory make masks for the rest of us.
Oh, wow.
Supply. Mm-hmm. Same thing with the hand sanitizer. So we actually have an on-staff chemist, and so when the hand sanitizer was, when the hand sanitizer was clearly about to, disappear and be very hard to find, our chemist actually formulated his own hand sanitizer. So we've been using that.
If only he could come up with a vaccine.
Right. but then most importantly, it's kind of a joke, but Tim kicked me out of the office. So right after DPC, I was supposed to have a lot more travel planned. And then the next week, I think I went to 2 different places on the East Coast to visit clients. I was supposed to go to another conference, which got canceled 3 days before it was supposed to be held. And by the time I got back, Tim told me I better not come into the office for another 2 weeks because he wanted to protect our employees, which makes perfect sense. And so shortly after that, it was mandated that any of us that could work from home should work from home. Yeah. And we've been really lucky. We haven't had a single employee come down with the virus, which is pretty
that's
amazing.
Great. Yeah, that is amazing. And you are an essential. You're considered an essential.
We are, yes, because of all of our defense work. Yes, we're considered an essential business. So we've been able to stay open the entire time.
Okay, interesting. So do you have any tips for people who are going through this with you or like you? Do you have any tips for other companies?
Well, the biggest would be for me, well, first of all, let me tell you Tim's biggest tip, which is wear a mask. He screams it through his mask all the time. But the biggest thing for me, so something else that was really affected on my level here at the company is that our sales processes have been completely upended. Mm-hmm. So I've had to learn to be really flexible. So a lot of our work, a lot of our meetings are face-to-face because it's important, especially with our complex assembly work that we do, to have those face-to-face meetings so you can point to that and, move that there, or, it just makes it so much easier. So Tim really quickly realized that was going to be missing if you didn't do something. So he ended up investing in Microsoft Teams, which has been great. Mm-hmm. Now, where I come in and having to be flexible with that is that a lot of our customers have very different technical requirements and security protocols in place. Mm-hmm. So the best example, I was on a meeting recently with four different people from 3 different companies.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were using Microsoft Teams. Well, one of those people, he could see the screen, but he couldn't talk. So he didn't have an enabled microphone because of their security protocols.
Right, okay.
So because he could see the screen, we ended up mixing a couple of different things. So I sent out a freeconferencecall.com, which is an excellent tool if you're ever in a pinch. But I ended up sending out a login information for that, had everyone else mute their microphones on their computer, and then that way we were all able to see a screen and all able to be on the phone at the same time. So
that is, yeah, I know there. Well, I know there's a lot of companies that can't like use Zoom, for instance. So it's good to have other workarounds. So,
we've been fortunate and able to, we're able to figure something out at some point.
Yeah.
So it's working pretty well.
Awesome. That's great. So let's talk about 5G, because that's an important market for you. And have you guys been seeing an impact on the deployment because of COVID?
I'm not quite sure, but my guess would be yes, because everyone is, I would imagine that the deployment delays are happening everywhere because the whole world is delayed right now. So especially with the hiccups in the supply chain, we get components from all over the world. And so, if our suppliers are delayed, then that causes us to be delayed. And, we've been able to navigate around that pretty well. But, the whole, every manufacturing facility is experiencing the exact same thing. So I would imagine that there would be delays in the deployment for that reason.
Yeah, and it's not like it's a competition issue because everybody's experiencing the same slowdown. So
I would think so.
Yeah.
Where we're typically seeing delays at the customer level is on the R&D side of things. So what I mean by that is, we reduce staff in order to enforce social distancing with everyone else. So when you have a skeleton crew working in the factory, your new projects tend to kind of take the sideline, and then you've got the business critical operations that are taking priority. So we are seeing some delays in R&D from that effort. Now for us, it's actually given us, when we have delays, we've been working on this one project for a while. And so it's actually a ceramic QFN for the 5G network or 5G rollout. And so we have been able to devote more R&D into that, which has been nice.
That's great. So here we are at SEMICON West. What would you like attendees visiting and watching this to know about your company and your products?
Sure. So StratEdge is primarily known for packages. So we've been building packages for compound semiconductors like gallium arsenide and gallium nitride since the 80s. So we're known for our high frequency, high power, and high speed packages. But we also, a couple of years ago, we moved into a brand new facility. And when we did that, we made the decision to really ramp up our assembly line. So whereas before in the old facility, we did some assembly, mainly in like prototyping types of quantities with manual and semi-automated equipment. When we moved into the brand new factory, especially with our GaN assembly services, which I'll talk about in a second, but because of that, we decided to bring in a bunch of automated equipment. So we now have an automated die bonder and an automated wedge bonder that are really geared up for production and level assemblies. So that's been a really nice thing to have in the new factory.
Yeah.
So for GaN assembly, this is something that we're getting pretty well known for at this point, but in the late 90s, we actually started working on a package development for GaN devices. One of our defense contractors, they saw that GaN was probably going to be something big in the future, but had no idea how to package it. So we first worked on developing a package using a CMC laminate base, which is what we decided on for our technology. And then we, along with that, almost as critical as the package, or maybe as critical as the package, is the assembly of the GaN device. So GaN devices are hard to assemble, and so we actually have an automated process which gets a very thin bond line of about 1/4 mil or less. And then there are also virtually zero voids. I think it's minimum 96% void free underneath the device, which is really critical in helping that heat spread away from those high-powered gallium nitride devices. So that GaN assembly service is so good that we actually offer GaN die on tab as a service, where instead of putting it on a package, we'll take the GAN device and scrub it onto a CNC tab so that our customers that want to assemble it themselves can then put it into the next level of assembly, and it just makes it so much easier.
It's good to be flexible like that. Now, and all of your manufacturing is in the United States, right?
It is, yes. So it's very critical since a lot of our work is with defense and space and commercial infrastructure. So all of our manufacturing and all of our assembly is done right here in San Diego County.
Awesome. So now where can people go to find out more?
The best place to start would be our website, which is www.stratedge.com. If you see something on there that you like, you can fill out the form. There's a contact form. So if you fill that out, it will get routed accordingly to the right account manager, and someone will be with you shortly.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. It's always so good to see you. Thanks for joining us today. Hopefully we'll see each other in person not too long. And to the audience, thanks for stopping by the 3D Insights booth at Virtual SEMICON West. Don't forget to sign up to download your issue of the yearbook and to subscribe to our newsletter. And enjoy the rest of your time at Virtual SEMICON West.
Thanks, Francois. Good to see you.